Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is Saturday, the 13th of September, and Arsenal have won a game. Arsenal have beaten Nottingham Forest 3-0 at the home game straight after international break. And I have to admit, it's nice. It's nice winning games, that's to say the least. It's nice winning games. And today we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about Zubimendi. We're going to talk about Odegaard. We're going to talk about the squad, the rotation, the management, all this stuff. So if you're ready for this, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new around here, and of course, don't forget to leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them and we can discuss them. And also, if anyone wants to come on the stream, just saying, right? Hit me up. Hit me on Instagram. Just put it in the chat. Hit me on Instagram. Hit me on Twitter DMs. Hit me on WhatsApp, whatever. And you can join this stream for as long as I'm live, pretty much. Let's be real. Big up. Big up Mubarak. Big up. Hope you're doing well. 3 issues of the game. First, Zubimendi, Eze, Mosquera were brilliant. Yeah. They were good. Zubimendi, what a goal. To be honest, the goal to open the game, what a goal. I'm very sorry, to say the least. It was a fantastic shot, straight rocket into the net. Third goal, header. He outjumped 5'10", outjumped every single defender for Forest, which was also nice to see. And of course, Eze, the pass and the run, to be honest, he made Gabriel's pre-assist, pass to Eze. Then Eze just squares it to Gyökeres, who taps it into empty net. Fantastic. And Mosquera as well. He kept his nerve. He had some blunders here or there, tiny bit. But overall, he did good. He actually did very, very, very good, to say the least. So I'm quite happy about these 3 players' performances. Honestly, we apologize to Madueke. Well, it's too early for that for me personally. I am not on that hype train regarding Madueke, but so far in 2 games, he has been arguably our best attacker, arguably still. You could argue that Madueke deserves also man of the match for today. And on top of all that, if he can do this long term, he is a good replacement for Bukayo Saka. Now, this is also the biggest thing. I don't want to see him as a left back. That is the other thing. I don't want to see him, left back as a left winger, one single bit. That is the other big thing, because at left wing, he was meh, at least on the right wing. He actually is doing some proper job. He's doing some proper business, and he actually was performing very, very nicely. So definitely, I am quite encouraged in that regard. Today, no joke at Arsenal B side with Mosquera. We forgot Saliba. Yeah, Noni was fantastic. We forgot Saliba was injured. Odegaard got injured as well. Again, the same injury, allegedly. People say it's the ankle from the tackle from Timber and the defender. It might be, again, his shoulder. And it just feels like he hasn't fully healed. But Manieri came on. We're going to get into all of that, right? But a quick few words. When Yeri came on, he did some good things, but overall, he was quite invisible to some extent. I'm not going to lie. So that is the weird part. Manieri wasn't as amazing as he was before. So obviously, it is a bit different. Big up AFC always. AFC always. We play a lot better when Odegaard not playing. Facts, to be honest as well. Even though Manieri didn't have the loudest of the games, let's just put it that way. When Odegaard came off, once again, just like against Leeds, we played much better. That is the one common predominator. If there is a common predominator with issues at Arsenal, that arguably is Mikel Arteta. Same could be said about the style and the way we play football. As soon as Odegaard is out of this team, and we put more direct, more technical, more forward-thinking number 10 in there, we look 10 times better. We are more free-flowing. We are much quicker on passing, much quicker on ball distribution. So that is definitely quite nice as well in those terms. Big up Andrew. Hope you're doing well. I predicted 4-0, but still not that far off. True, apart from a pretty messy first half, that was a really satisfactory performance for once. Yes, it was very comfortable, very solid, very easy. Nothing much to talk about in terms of negative sides. There were some negatives, obviously. We're going to touch upon them on occasion, but overall, it's a performance that gives you some sort of a confidence in terms of that maybe we can actually have some rotation going forwards. I actually was very happy that we actually rotated some players that, for example, Declan Rice didn't start and everything. So overall, yeah, there is some encouraging glimpses in terms of long-term situation about all of this regarding Arsenal, of course. Big up coach, as they was start of the ball, still right side dominate. Yes, and as you are mentioning this, I will pull up a graph. I'm taking a a book from Igal. I'm going to pull off a graph which was tweeted, I think it was during the game. It was when it was during second half still, right? And this was the graph that got tweeted out, and I'm gonna reference this because even with Bukayo Saka out, we are still very heavily attacking through the right. This is Arsenal's. This is how Arsenal are attacking still. Obviously, Nodi Madueke was picking up the slack. He was doing brilliantly. To be honest, the only thing missing for him is the goal-scoring part of the game, and maybe also some decision-making in the final third. But overall, this is still the issue with Arsenal, despite the fact that that Saka is out of the team, right? We still heavily attack through the right. Half of the time, pretty much half of the possessions we tend to push up forward and attack is still through the right. Rest of them, it's pretty much balanced out through midfield and the left side. So it is what it is, I guess, in those terms. I guess that's how Arteta envisions it. And you kind of cannot argue that still, because the right side is still the most dangerous side, no matter we have Saka or Madueke, ironically enough, there. So it is what it is, I guess, in those terms. We are like a boxer who throws jabs to win on points. There's no knockout punch under Arteta's system. And that is one of the negatives about today's game I wanted to talk about. We went 1-0 up. We technically tried something, but towards the last 10-15 minutes, we sat back and invited the pressure. They hit the post. Raya made a brilliant save when Chris Wood basically hit his chest and nearly went in. So overall, if we look in those terms, that is one of the biggest things. We don't go for the kill, figuratively speaking. We don't put the game to bed early. We just basically just jab it out, lots of hugs, maybe some uppercuts. We try to do that, but it gets blocked, and we just try to win on points like 119 to 120 or 118 to 120. Let's just put it that way. There is no knockout punch where it's a unanimous decision with in the second round. There is nothing of that, and we used to do it in the 22-23 season, and it was very satisfactory, very nice. Right now, it's that I think is still the biggest issue if we are looking in those terms. Definitely one of the biggest issues. With Vanierino crying for Odegaard, we don't need Odegaard. We play better without Odegaard. No matter whether you like Odegaard or not, you have to admit that. Finally, Arsenal have good players. Arteta handbrakes, football keeps. Yes, exactly. We have very good players. If you give them the freedom, the chance, the ability, the option to express themselves, without shadow of a doubt, we would be much more threatening, much more direct and dangerous. And one of the biggest issues is obviously Mikel Arteta kind of stifling them, putting handcuffs on them, and absolutely running them into the ground on top of all that. As they had his arms up a few times, where is Gabi will just accept it, but positive signs. Yeah, positive, exactly. Feels like there were many positives, so it's easier to point some negatives. Obviously, at least for me, Calafiori, Odegaard, and Merino, and probably Neze was decent, and all for dimensions are not entirely players' fault. Exactly. You can put out the negatives, but ultimately, a big part of those are due to Mikel Arteta. One of the things I'm going to say, Calafiori is a goddamn left back, right? And for a big part of the game at times, we saw him as a number 6, as a number 8, which you kind of can understand with him inverting, right? But there was a good spell of 5-10 minutes when he was a goddamn right winger. Now, that shift with me doesn't fly, because that leaves us exposed on the left side. If he's a left back and he basically plays right wing, that is not going for me. Odegaard, well, it is what it is. Merino, yeah, for Spain, he's great. For Arsenal, he had a decent game. He should have scored that first chance he had. I'm not going to lie. He should have scored that goal. Merino should have and must have scored that goal where Sells made a very good save. He should have scored that 100%. Is the system? Yes, exactly. Question. When Saka comes back, would you try Saka left wing or right wing, as I said? Yes, I would. I would without shadow of a doubt. Yes, Saka loves to cut in. But with if we drop Odegaard, I think that would be much more, how to say this, much more enabling for our attack to be more direct, be more forward-thinking, and be more creative. Because Saka loves to cut in. Everyone knows that. With Madueke, it's a bit different. He doesn't mind taking his player out on his weaker foot. So in those terms, yes, I would definitely encourage maybe try Saka on the left, Madueke on the right, and Eze through the middle. because maybe that would also resolve our issues of being so lopsided through the right side. Obviously, as we can easily see here, that even with Saka out, we are still almost 50% of the time attacking through the right, which is not great. At the end of the day, it is not great. Look forward to player ratings. If we get to that, I'm not gonna lie, this means nothing, sadly. We defend for 90 minutes against Newcastle. We'll see. But yeah, obviously, you can only beat what's in front of you. One of the biggest issues with Arsenal have been these smaller teams like Leeds, obviously, Forest, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, and all these teams. If we can manage to produce wins against them, then rest of the games against bigger sides, we will put ourselves in a position that we maybe can do something. But as long as Arsenal, again, start to drop points against these mediocre teams, no disrespect to any of the teams, by the way, it's going to be a long ride. Big up, people. Like and subscribe if you haven't already as well, people. We are inching towards the 1,000. Who was your man of the match? It was Madueke. Again, for the second game in a row, it's Madueke. Funny, only we can back after. I see you, AJ. I see you. Poor getting sacked. Mourinho coming in. Is it confirmed? Is it confirmed that Graham Potter is getting sacked? Or is it just still like a potential discussion and potential situation happening? Is it just like that? No. Big up Wahaha. Big up Wahaha. Your hate along didn't work. Let's see what tomorrow brings against Man City. Big up Darren. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. My missus is mixed race. She doesn't like dark chocolate and was called. It makes no sense. Genuinely, it doesn't make sense whatsoever, because my missus is also mixed race, and it's also like, go figure in those terms. Asmus Hoyland actually wrote some notes because I thought about looking closely into this game. Yeah, these smaller games are a bit different gravy, isn't it? When you look into them, it's a bit different story, no matter how you wanna portray them. Let's be real. And Rasmus Højlund has scored a goal for Napoli in his first game, and he couldn't do nothing for United, which is kind of nuts if you think about it. 2-0 up, by the way. Napoli at the moment are winning 2-0 away to Fiorentina. KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, has scored the first goal from a penalty spot, and second goal has been scored by, yes, you guessed it, yours truly, Asmus Højlund, ironically enough, which is kind of nuts to think about it. So yeah, I guess it is what it is in those terms. Now, where were we? Back to the chat, because people, you have some nice statements, and I want to get through them. Why can't win trophies with this unbalanced in the time? Well, that's the nuts thing. You know how we want balance, right? But I think our team is hella too balanced on certain level, and to make it unbalanced would actually be the best thing, to some extent. With certain thoughts in mind, and with certain, let's just put it this way, with a certain precaution in mind, let's just put it that way. Actually, making our attack a bit unbalanced would be quite good, if you look at it that way, because our midfield was unbalanced, but if we put Eze in the 10, put Saka on the left and Madueke to the right, which is quite weird when I speak these words, that I think about Madueke as a starter, by the way, it makes our attack more chaotic. And I think that is something that is really missing from our team, the chaos. We are so controlled, so pragmatic, so robotic, so predictable, that everyone knows half the stuff we're going to do, if not more. And sometimes inviting a bit of a chaos into the attack and into the team in general, actually, could do you more favors than actually harm. And I kind of believe that we actually could, if we do this, it actually would open up and make us much more threatening in general. Big up Naga Gunner. Big up Naga Gunner. Big up, bro. Hope you're doing well. Big up Beggy. Big up Beggy. Big up Marlon as well. Arsenal win. He shows up somehow. Ironic. Big up Terry Tibbs. Big up Terry Tibbs. Forest are a wreck. How have they lost 3-0 twice when you have Murillo, Milenkovic, Luis, Anderson, Wood, Elanga is not there, though. Elanga is at Newcastle. Murillo got injured. And yeah, I think they're missing Elanga quite heavily, and it's showing. It's showing. Ndoye as well is not that. Rai almost got caught off his line. Yeah, well, quite heavily as well. He made a good save, pushed it to the bar, and luckily we didn't concede because it was still 2-0 at the time. If it went up to being 2-1, it could have gotten a bit ugly. I'm not gonna lie. Big up, people. 20 of you in here. Like the stream and subscribe if you haven't already. Big up. Zubimendi, what a goal, to say the least. Not gonna big up everyone. Big up everyone. Big up people. Big up. One good game doesn't make a goal. Exactly. One good game doesn't do anything. Let's be real. Let's be real. And I think you're responding to a comment to some extent. But yeah, one good game doesn't. Let's see if he can do this against big teams. Then we can talk on a somewhat consistent basis. But if he does this against, small teams, or like Anthony for United does that against like championship level teams where he finds his level, quote unquote, it makes no difference. Let's be real at the end of the day. Gyökeres has 3 goals in 4 games. Yes. Forest were poor, but we made them look poor, if it makes sense. Yes, exactly. Forest are not in best of spaces at the moment. At the same time, we also didn't allow them to do much. Obviously, the last 10-15 minutes in the first half were worrying because they got pressure, they hit the post, and it was not didn't hit the post, they hit the post in the second half. But it was a bit messy. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit messy. After that, in second half, quick second goal, and it basically went downhill for them from there. 18 points out of the 3 Arsenal players I have in my FPL. Not bad. Yeah, that's great. That is literally great return. Calafiori was playing as a midfielder in the first half, the last part of his first half. But yeah, exactly. I was talking about this, and it's, for me, that is something that I don't want to see. Calafiori is a left back. Yes, I get that Arteta wants to invest. He plays him as a left 8, maybe a 6 if push comes to shove. Yes, okay, cool. I can kind of make amends with that. But to see him as a right winger for a good spell of 5-10 minutes in a row, no. That doesn't fly with me. On top of that, did you notice how easily Calafiori got cooked defensively? He even got a yellow card, by the way. Calafiori defensively is a massive liability still. Put the Odegaard on the transfer list. We don't need him. Exactly. Why? My thoughts exactly. As soon as Odegaard came off, we looked much better without shadow of a doubt. First note, Calafiori shouldn't spend that much time in the midfield. That is on Mikel Arteta. You cannot put him on him, to be honest. He doesn't support Merino. He doesn't back up Eze. He doesn't do that. That inverted task wasn't involved anymore. Yeah, exactly. I had Romero on my bench in FPL. That's bad. He just scored a goal, didn't he? I had Van de Ven in my FPL, so that is kind of nice. He got 12 points. He scored a goal. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not very satisfied, but I'm quite satisfied with that. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well. Worried for Skelly. I'd like to see Skelly and Rice double pivot when Zubimendi needs a rest with what squad that. I would love to see that. But Norgard is coming back, and we will never see that. Odegaard can still fit as good money. Exactly. Solve our FFP and ROI, big the fat money reduces PSR. Exactly. We bought Odegaard for 35 million. We can easily sell him for about 45-50. 100%. Despite the high wage he's on, we can do that. With Berta, I have no questions about that. The question is who would take him, and would Arteta sanction the selling? Because we all know that he's the captain. And he's Arteta's golden boy, his love child, and all this stuff. And so it's a bit different one. Second note, Odegaard should be benched even after the injury. Facts. And figure out his approach when he's the attack. Because 18-year-old Ethan is more simple, direct, but also a much more dangerous threat than Mikel Odegaard. Pretty much Mikel Odegaard. Yeah, he is. I was very pissed off that we didn't see Max Baumann, for example, today. I was very annoyed with that. I'm not going to lie. But I guess it is what it is. But yeah, Odegaard definitely should be benched, and if not sold. Then definitely the best front four at the current stage is Gyökeres, Madueke, Saka, Eze. Though that's the best front four we can have. Merino gives me heart attack yet again with his slow. Yeah, exactly. That is the nuts part. Merino, I don't think he played badly, but his decision making and sharpness going forward. Let's say he much rather slow down the dynamic and keep it simple and look for soft fouls. Yeah. And he should have scored as well in the first half, the first goal. He obviously, what's its face? Sells did a very good job to close the gap. Sells did a very good job to close the gap and the space between them to cover as much net as possible. So he kind of had to shoot at him At the same time, if it was like Alexis Sanchez, he would have chipped him. Let's be real. So it's a bit different then. Big up, Nally. Big up, Nally. Hope you're doing well today. You're not sick or anything. Hope Saturday is treating you well. Yeah, Madueke was cooking Williams. Left, right, and center on toast, on grill, on barbecue, or I don't know, on the oven, in the oven, around the oven, wherever. That is the thing. As in Madueke are new players. They are not infected by the Arteta disease, so they play good-looking football. Exactly. Vanjiri also hasn't been here long enough under Arteta to be infected. Same goes for Skelly to some extent. Same goes for Max Dalman. Rest of them. And I would also exclude, to be honest, Saka, because he will adapt. The rest of them, it's Peakums. Not gonna lie, bro. Cooked Madueke might actually give Saka some decent competition for the Arteta. Yeah. Let's put Saka on the left wing. Exactly. Yeah, Forest offered nothing. Exactly. They did absolutely zilch. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Big up, Sean. Big up, Sean. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. The Juventus match was absolute cinema. How did the Juventus match end? I didn't watch it. I was with 4-3. Juventus won. Damn, that is actually quite a nuts game. Zubimendi, what a goal. Shame Arteta will never let him shoot that again. There's a big possibility of that, ironically. No matter how you look at it, and talking about Arsenal, and if you talk about Arteta, unfortunately, my back is killing me. Oh, sorry, my back is killing me. Yeah, Zubimendi might be restricted from shooting, to be honest. Fourth note, or is it fifth? Whatever, yeah. Eze is not a left winger. I don't think he played a left wing if we don't count 2-3 moments. He was actually hugged the line. But I think his fate unfortunately is sealed. Unless Arteta goes, we might never see Eze in the midfield as a number 10 on consistent basis. We might see an off game here or there, but to put him on consistent basis there, I don't know. And obviously, if Odegaard is out now, we actually are again on the brink of seeing the midfield of Merino in the 10 once again. Let's not forget that, because if Odegaard has again gotten the same injury, or if he's again out for extended period of time, there's a big possibility that he might actually, Merino might be in the 10 again. Yeah, Zubimendi and Mosquera were very, very good. We can actually have an actual attacking creative threat at left wing in our attack and be more balanced and less predictable. Exactly. How are we doing? Madueke is actually pretty good at right wing, but we have Madueke's issue is the decision making, the final third, basically sometimes, and the finishing touch, because he has none of those two are lacking heavily. Cannot say he has none of those, but they are lacking quite heavily, in my opinion, which definitely will make him not start over Saka unless Saka goes left wing and he basically starts there regularly. Calafiori again looking suspect defensively. Facts. Calafiori played pretty much every single position today besides actually left back. Because he was at a 6, he was at a 10, he was at an 8, he was at the right wing, he was at left wing, he was as a right back at one point, and he was a center back even. And defensively, yeah, he is so suspect, I'm actually hella worried. Yeah, Trossard is hitting the fitness on the pitch, man. He needs some energy drinks. That pass he made for Zubimendi to out-jump a defender and score the header, that was perfectly placed, to be honest. Perfect pass, perfect cross. Ideal whipped scoop pass to perfection, to be honest. Just it was executed to perfection. I want to point out Madueke's corners. Yeah, Madueke and corners. That was today a cinema as well, to be honest. The delivery was very neat and clean. He looked class before Williams went to his flank. Neko was able to keep up with Noni. Yeah, a bit, yeah. But overall, Madueke was very, very good. I think we could get 60 to 70. Potentially even, yes. The question is who would pay that. We need to find someone who pays that, though, for him. But we need, for me personally, it was against Leeds. It's also now against Forest. Without Odegaard, we look much better in the attack. More direct, more sharp, more free-flowing, and the ball is moving much quicker, and that is it. Odegaard presses well, that's about it. And if you say Odegaard presses well, and that is your main statement about your captain, about your main creative midfielder and player in the team, the guy who should be scoring, assisting, controlling everything, that is it. He's cooked. Big up, Camden Gunner. Big up, Camden Gunner. Hope you're doing well today, man, bro. Big up. Mosquera was a brick wall at the back. I rate him. Don't miss Saliba one bit. Need to see Hinkapie next. Facts. I want to see Hinkapie as well. Exactly. Even you can press. Everyone can press. Does he really press well? Well, he presses good. He doesn't press well. He just presses, let's just say, better than other players in the team, but that doesn't mean it's well. And that also shouldn't be the main thing you highlight when you talk about a player that is Odegaard. Let's be real. Big up, Kendon. Big up. Looks like Odegaard now needs a surgery on his shoulder. He could be out. He could be out for quite a while. Not gonna lie, quite good. I don't wish injuries on anyone, right? But I want to see more this team without Odegaard, without him slowing down the play. The issue with this is, and we saw that against Liverpool as well, by the way, that Merino was Arteta's main choice to be the number 10. Not Ethan, not Max Dauman, not Eze even. It was Mikel Merino, which for me kind of strikes me with a bit of fear in terms of the fact that he actually could again be the number 10 against Man City, which is a big worry. We'll see, obviously, who plays number 10 against Bilbao, of course. But against City, it could be very interesting how Arteta envisions that. Odegaard needs to be permanently benched. He needs to be sold permanently as well. Mosquera, 13 mil, looking good so far, yeah. Obviously, it's a small sample size, two games, technically 2 full games and 1 a tiny bit, few minutes. But so far, he hasn't put a foot wrong, I'm not going to lie. Mosquera, what a find. I don't really like him so far. Same. And I think that signing is on Berta more than anything because Berta has spent 14 years in La Liga and he has played against Mosquera for the longest time with Athletic Bilbao. Well, not played. He has scouted him. Let's just put it that way. So it will be very interesting. Morata was a joke. Him at left back gave Arsenal the momentum and started the game. Yeah. Madueke looked good on the right. Saka should be put on the left. Eze in the 10. Guarantee we will cook. Fact. Eze in the 10. Saka on the left. Madueke on the right. And obviously Gyökeres down the middle. I think that would work perfectly. Chelsea bullying me while they didn't start Cucurella. Oh, you had Cucurella in your FPL, right? You had Cucurella in your FPL. What's the starting lineup, by the way? João Pedro, Neto, Buonanotte, Gittins, Fernandes, Caicedo, Fofana, Tosin, Chalobah, Hatzo, and Sanchez. Please do some damage, Chelsea. Please do some stuff. Please, I beg of you. Thank you. Merino and Odegaard are country merchants, basically, yeah. I also really like that number 8 Anderson guy from Forest. His movement and openings were mad. He was decent. Yeah, they have some talent. Definitely, Nottingham Forest have some talent. If they can manage to figure shit out under Ange, they actually could be a threat once again. It was a great time to play Forest. They looked out of sorts after all the off-field shenanigans and the appointment of Ange. And that is the biggest thing. We last year lucked out with this because we played Nottingham Forest straight after international break and Chris Wood wasn't even playing. And this year, once again, we have played Nottingham Forest at home straight after international break. And both the times, it has come at the most opportunistic times, to be honest. They look all out of sorts. Something has happened always. Juventus Inter was full of bangers. I'm going to watch that game later. I have it. I can watch it in the archives of CERN on the platform. I watch all my games, so definitely going to look at that. Big up YouTube, Sensas. Big up YouTube. This is easily the best Arsenal squad in 15 years. Our sub bench looked very strong. This is finally Arteta's squad. It took time to get rid of players he did not want and get players he wanted. But it's still not fulfilled. That is the nuts part. Like, I don't want Arteta to stay here if he doesn't win anything. So where do they draw the line? That for me is the next big thing. Where does Arsenal, Josh, Berta, Richard Garlick, Tim Lewis, where they draw the line? Yildiz for left wing man right now. Selba Nelly, Soldrasan. He got some he didn't want to. Yeah, he got some he didn't want to. He didn't want Eze. He didn't want Gyökeres, but he got them at the end of the day. And now he has to deal with it. And obviously, if he wins something, he will made out of his genius. But let's be real, he didn't want them. Let's not overlook the women's 5-1 win at West Ham. Yeah, women's team is just different gravy compared to our men's team. They just go for the glory every single season. Arteta really started 2020 Real Sociedad midfield as our starting midfield in 2025. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That was the first thing I tweeted out when I saw the starting 11. I don't even know what to say. Exactly. That was the nuts part, one of the nuts parts. Someone mentioned we might need to get rid of some players because we finally have a good squad on the bench. Curtis, maybe. I'm actually for us having a good depth even with Donke, Saka, and Saliba out. Yeah, But get rid of some players like Odegaard, like Martinelli. Get rid of some, and you will be in some good money, and you can even buy someone. Big up Dio. Big up Dio. Just take the armband of Odegaard. He would be so much better without it. There's a big possibility of that, because there are players who might be the best players even to some extent on the planet, right? But as soon as you make them captain, their performances drop like into the Grand Canyon. They cannot wait. They cannot psychologically, basically, and mentally work it over. Then the responsibilities, the duties, the tasks they have, and I think definitely this is this. It could be one of the things what's weighing down Odegaard to some extent. Can we trade Odegaard for Lookman, please? Trossard isn't hung status now. You just said that. Let's not forget the Arsenal women's 5 on SNAM. Future Arsenal men's women's team looks very... Future of women's team, definitely. Especially if Rennes Legas continues to do the job she's doing. About the men's, we'll see. Screw Odegaard, to be honest. Sell him right now. It's not Odegaard presses well. It's that he leads our press well. I would assume he talks to our lads and tells them where to be and where to go. But that again is such a useless thing in terms of excuses for Odegaard. Because I get that he leads the press and all this crap, but if this is your main argument why Odegaard is good at Arsenal, you might as well fold the club overall. You might as well sell the player overall. Like, come on, man. That's just one of the dumbest things you can ever say. For me, at least, personally. No disrespect. I don't think that job is valuable enough to justify low attacking numbers, though. Exactly. Oh, he presses well. He leads the press. So what? So goddamn what? Where are the goals? Where are the assists? Where's proper passing, key passes, through balls, and us winning titles? Nowhere. Odegaard commands the press as far as does he press well. When Yeri came versus Leeds, didn't need to command the press. We did much better today. I wonder. Exactly. As soon as Odegaard has come off versus Leeds, versus Nottingham Forest, we have looked 10 times better in the attack specifically. Big up Godfrey. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Big up. Big up everyone. Dappin's going around. You'll love to see. We don't need Odegaard. It feels that way. Not gonna lie. What is this Cam dropping too deep as a 6? Even Ethan was literally playing as a 6. Yeah, that is a nuts part. I was looking at the game, how we are building up from the attack. Like I paused the games at halftime. Basically, I rewinded the first half and was watching. As I said, like as you are saying, and when Yuri was in the 6 at times, Calafiori is in the 6. He's on the right wing. Then you see Eze in the 6. Then you see Eze as a left back. Like what? Make it make sense. That aside, Odegaard is attacking me. He's supposed to do things on the ball to make me go, whoa, how did he do that? Exactly. Like that pass Odegaard did when Havertz scored the 4th goal, his 2nd goal against Chelsea, around the defender's back and everything, curled it around straight into his path and he went and scored. Stuff like that I need from Odegaard, basically. That is the big thing. Instead we got, false Viking Odegaard. Yeah, we get like a fake Viking. Big up TK. Hey, hope you're doing well today, my bro. Hope you're doing well. Nothing but dubs. Yeah, Turkey beating Giannis, Şengün schooling Giannis, and Arsenal winning against Forest. It's amazing. It is amazing. Obviously, when I say a player must go, what I really mean is they must be replaced with a better player. Like replacing Odegaard is not that hard. We have our Odegaard replacement. We have Eze. Let's be real. We have Vanjeri, maybe not at the moment, long term, yes, but Eze right now. We already have an Odegaard replacement. You're going to see Turkey leave the Eurobasket trophy in Latvia. Maybe. I know it would never happen, but I would love to if we got Van de Ven. Man is ridiculously rapid and such a solid defender. West Ham's counters all got snuffed out by him. I wouldn't mind, but I think Van de Ven in the next few years will go to I assume at least Liverpool or City or Real Madrid or PSG. One of those 4 clubs in near future, in next few years, Van de Ven will go to. Make Big Gubby the captain. The guy play well and lead well. Exactly. And some people subscribe to TK. Here is his channel. Show him some love, people. Show him some goddamn love. Drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment, drop everything you want there. We don't score goals of Odegaard's press, so what's the point of it? Exactly. 100%. 19 likes, people. Big up to you all. If we can push it up to 25, I would be forever most grateful. Hinkapie finally introduced Man City. That sounds, by the way, hella zesty and hella wrong. Hinkapie finally introduced Man City to his little friend. That sounds wrong and very, very weird in every way, shape, and form you can imagine, to be honest. If Wanyeri is in the 6, then Arteta has us playing too compact. Exactly. Wanyeri was in the 6, Eze was as a left back and all this stuff. It was weird stuff during the game. Our players aren't technical enough to play some compact either. But exactly, we don't have technical enough players to do that stuff. Tottenham had 13 corners and a bagillion of crosses. It seems that we have competition in set pieces. Set piece FC, ole, ole. And from Tottenham, we're kind of shell. So, yeah, but I would assume because Rudiger is now out for a few months as well. Rudiger, Militao, and Alaba. They need to replace 3 defenders. 3 defenders. 3 center backs they need to replace. Yes, they have Hausen. They want Konate or Saliba, or both even. And they need 3. So they could be in for Van de Ven. Madrid might get the Upamecano and Konate as free agents next window. There's a big possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if they still wait for Saliba. But I definitely believe Van de Ven is going to leave Spurs in the next few years, 100%. What switch do you do? What switch would you order sale? I think Rice is going to play on against Bilbao 100%. He didn't play this game. He's going to come in. I think Wanyeri might start potentially. Definitely, we will see some defensive changes. Hinkapie might start against Bilbao away. I wouldn't be surprised about that as well. Against Iñaki Williams, mind you. We will see some changes. But the closer the game comes, then we're going to talk about it. Odegaard and Arteta can take the first plane back to San Sebastian. Fact. Send them back. Send them back. If you want, give us in return Oyarzabal and about 30 million or something like that. Bring in Ayo Tanaka and Iraola. Bournemouth are cooking. We'll see. But Bournemouth are a very good team. They're cooking. Semenyo again getting me points today in FPL. Super happy. Shade 1-0 Bournemouth, right? Yeah. Shade has scored. Leipzig connections. When Yeri at CDM and Eze left back. Yeah. During the game, yes. When Yeri was at number 6 to get the ball and start the attacks. Eze was there as left back to get the ball. And what's its face? Calafiori was at number 6, number 8. He was at right wing. He was at the 10. He was at left wing. He was as a right back. He was center back. He pretty much covered every single position today besides goalkeeper. My FPL bench is so bad. Every player 1 point the game weekends on the roll. But my worst because Chelsea conceded a goal. Hey, that's unlucky. I need Chelsea to do something in this game. I need for Chelsea to score goals and do their thing. Not like Henderson. Rice starts the next 2 games, no 2 ways about it. Yeah, against City, against Bilbao, he most likely is going to start, yeah. Dare I say start Max Tuesday? I don't think he can play, though. Max is 15, and he's going to be 16 on December 31st. He cannot play in Champions League yet. So I don't think about that one, though. Not too sure how Champions League rules work, but I think it was something in those lines. I think Van de Ven makes sense because they know he'll be cheaper alternative in fees. And yeah, 100%. Yeah, UCL starts this week. Yes, Rice is probably the most important player to keep fit this season. I would say Gyökeres as well. I would say Rice and Gyökeres. Because if Gyökeres goes down, and Havertz is still injured, we are back to Mikel Merino striker settings, and let's be real. Yeah, 1-0 Brentford. Interesting. Shade is a baller. Yeah, Shade is decent. Very decent. Nagelsmann will literally turn our out of form Nelly into different player. There's a big possibility of that. 100%. Do Bilbao have the same rule for managers as they do for players? Because I take Valverde over this bum. I'm not too sure I would take Valverde at Arsenal. Obviously, to be honest, if you think about this way, almost every single manager is better than Mikel Arteta at this stage to some extent. But I'm not too sure about Valverde at Arsenal personally. Like, yeah, all right, we'll start, and so will Merino. Yep. No, he can't play yet. My bad. You're right. Yeah. Basically, I'm just glad Arteta didn't start Rice against Forest. To some extent, yeah. I'm happy that Saliba didn't play, Saka didn't play, because they are back in training to a certain level. How much, we don't know. But yeah, wow, what a ball to put Brentford forward in the position to score. Oh, Henderson still has it, though, yeah. Henderson still has it. 5 players left to play. 5 players left to play, and until now, I only have 39 points. Well, I'm not doing too much better, am I? To be honest. I'm not doing too much better. I'm on 56 points at the moment. I'm on 56, right? And I'm still I have Neto and João Pedro active for Chelsea at the moment as they're playing. And I still have potentially one more player. Potentially, and that is for tomorrow Manchester Derby. He shouldn't be missed today after all the transfer business we did. I need Rice fit and rested for our big matches. Yeah. I would take Valverde in any week. What? He means the manager. From what I understand, he means manager Valverde. Not Valverde, the midfielder. Because he spoke about Athletic Bilbao. See, do Bilbao have the same rule for managers as they do for players? Because I take Valverde over this bum. I'm not too sure about Valverde, the manager. Ernesto Valverde. I'm not too sure at the moment. Like, if you look at it this way. TKA. Attention. Small margins. Attention to details, my man. A major problem prior season, was Arteta couldn't trust his own rotation, but that's his fault because he wanted those players. Maybe right now it could be a change. Enzo David has been cooking while it's called for his all summer. Gabriel writes and Rai, I'm not having Calafiori and Kepa being needed in the back line. So many results were baked in before we ever got to the match day. Now we're giving ourselves a chance. To be honest, we have still so many injuries, which is quite insane to think about even, because yes, we have players back, but ultimately we still have quite a few injuries. And certain return times are very unknown. Jesus, we'll see, he's in training technically. Havertz, who knows? Saka, we'll see. Norgard, is he still even at the club? He's like Tomiyasu at the moment. Saliba, obviously, and now Odegaard again. And I think Hendon said that he might need a surgery. So it's like, go figure. Well, 56, 44 for me, but still 5 to play. You see, I have only 3, and 2 of them are active right now. And if they stink out the place against Chelsea, I'm done for. The only thing Rice still needs up his level, be more creative. Rice, the issue with Rice is he is requested to do things he cannot do in terms of tight space dribbling, passing, and crossing, and all that stuff. Not crossing, but in tight space dribbling, dropping the shoulder, carrying the ball to some extent, and he cannot do that. And certain things you can teach, but also certain things I kind of cannot to some extent. Oh my bad, I thought he meant the player. No, if it was the player, I would take him in a bit. So subs don't give you any points in FPL. Subs don't give you any points in the FPL unless there is this thing where there is a free ticket in FPL where they basically sub them in for a player if something has happened or he hasn't played enough minutes or some crap like that, basically. And there are some stuff like that. Now I keep him at Bilbao. Exactly. I would take Ramos as player manager. Which Ramos? Which of all the Ramoses? Sergio Ramos? You activate it, and it's twice the whole season. Jonathan David wanted Serie A move. Yeah, and he didn't get it, so it sucks to be him. Wait, he did get it, no? Yeah, I think. Well, wait, didn't Jonathan David join? Where is he playing? Didn't he? That is one chance where I totally missed my place. He's at Juventus, isn't he? He was at Juventus. Yeah, I thought it was. I don't know if NordVPN is going to play for Arsenal. I have Gakpo and Kerkez, and Cucurella is not playing. If Pedro can score, I might be fine. The thing is, if Cucurella does not play, and you have Kerkez on the bench, and he starts and plays for Liverpool tomorrow, right? Then FPL is gonna sub him in, isn't it? Unless you're talking about the main guys. Norgard probably couldn't get into his team. To be fair, his bench looked decent. Yeah, and that is also, Rice doesn't have a standout particular skill, just like Kai Havertz. And that is one of the biggest issues with those players. I wanted my Yasel to come in before he signed a new contract in Saudi and Al Ali. Yeah. One in Austria, Saudi, and AFC Champion. Asian Champions League. Yeah. He actually is a decent manager. I wouldn't mind taking a punt on him at Arsenal. 100% I wouldn't mind. Rice isn't going to learn creativity. Players just don't work that way. But he does have an engine. Yeah, but an engine is not enough these days, is it? You need to be a bit more well-rounded. Let's just put it that way. The Palace nil. Yeah, the thing is, for this weekend, I literally had no Palace and Sunderland players in my team. I'm kind of pissed off about Everton game because I had Jack Grealish in my team, and he got only, 2 points, if I'm not mistaken. That is the player that mostly is killing my team at the moment. That is the player because my defense, the nuts part is I have 56 points, right? Goalkeeper has 7. My defense overall has 32 points, which is more than half of the points I have. Semenyo got 10 points. Elanga started off the bench, which kind of pissed me off. But yeah, I got only 1 point. And Grealish got me 2 points only. And that is the thing. My defense plus goalkeeper today have gotten me 39 out of 56 points. 39 out of 56. Which means my defense and goalkeepers are carrying me hard this game week at least. In terms of power and pace, defending, yes, Rice way above Aaron Ramsey, but his proper offensive eight, no chance. Sergio Ramos, player manager, I don't even care if he never managed his life. The coaching badges will pay for fitness. Fine, we'll pay the fines. Hope Norgard chance no Tuesday play. He wasn't even with the squad today, was he? So I don't even think about that one. Big up most wanted. Hope you're doing well. Came to the need to get Gyökeres in more assists. Yeah, we need that. I have Kerkez in my 11 and my bench is all 1 point. Yeah, you might be cooked in those terms. Because if any of your starting 11 doesn't play and you get auto substitution, auto switch, you will get just added 1 point. So you might be cooked in those terms. Because if you get the bench on some points, there's a possibility that if the switch happens, you get some points, but ultimately it never happens. I like Rice and Ramsey. He's got similar engine, worse tech, not as creative as Ramsey, but he's a better tackler and has defensive instinct than Ramsey. Yeah, and you get some, you lose some. But Rice does have some outstanding skill, but he's not a box-to-box. Yeah. Rice is getting asked to play a role he doesn't have the abilities to play, basically. Hence, again, we are not seeing the full potential of Declan Rice. Aaron Ramsey is so clear of Odegaard, it's not even funny. Oh, without shadow of a doubt. Bruno Guimaraes literally a step ahead of Rice technically. Yeah. Trade Odegaard for Bruno. Do you think Eddie Howe would take this bum of an Odegaard in his team? Come on, man. Yeah, but Rice is a DM. I'm not here telling Arteta that Rice can. Yeah. Big up Nems. Hope you're doing well, Nems. Subscribe to Nems as well. The moment I choose to get Grealish into the team, he turns in. Yeah, but it was Aston Villa. It was bound to happen. Big up Yessa. Big up the Chelsea taxman. Big up the taxman, Yessa TV. How are you feeling about the game so far? You're losing 1-0 to Brentford. How are you feeling about the game? And go subscribe to Yessa as well, people. Here is the link. Go subscribe to Yessa. Show him some love. And here is also Nems' link. Go show him some love as well. Bro, what's the prediction for the Man U Man game? 2-2 draw, or City is gonna win like 3-1. One or the other. If I'm not mistaken, Edu wanted to sign Bruno Guimaraes. And well, he didn't. Edu wanted Bruno Guimaraes, and Arsenal didn't sign him. And this window maybe Berta wanted, but before, when he just joined from Lyon, Edu wanted to sign Bruno Guimaraes. Edu wanted to sign Paqueta at the time, and Edu wanted to sign Savio like 3 years ago. And all those deals just didn't materialize because apparently Arteta didn't give the green light. Eddie Howe has no place for Odegaard. Exactly. He has no place for marshmallow pussy-holes in his team. Let's be real. Odegaard and Merino as our 2-8s and the most creative player on the left wing. We should play 6-1-3 at this point. We might as well play like 3-2-5. 3 defenders, 2 midfielders, 5 attackers on the pitch, and just go and see what sticks. We might as well do that, to be honest. That also could be a possibility in terms of Arsenal if we are looking at it this way. So we'll see. Anyways, people, we need to run through this quickly because I want to see this. I want to see what Mickey Ross has said in his Waffle House today after the game against Nottingham Forest. Against Nottingham Forest. Mickey Ross settings. Let's do this, guys. Quick because it's not long, so we can definitely just run over it and see what he had to say. On if Zubimendi's goal was practiced on the training ground, I'd take 0 credit for that incredible execution. Good. Finally. The timing, the way he connects with the ball, and the way ball travels in that trajectory. Certainly, he's given us a lot of positive things. His presence, his authority on the pitch, and the way he connects with the players and that composure that he's having. If he starts to add assists and goals like this, it's another dimension of a player. On Eze's performance, the new ones that started 5 for them today, really impressed with them. I think you can sense and feel that there are new relationships flourishing there. Sounds like Love Island. Literally sounds like Love Island. New relationships flourishing. This is literally like top-notch advert for Love Island or Arsenal dating show, basically. This is what it is, I guess. That they're going to give us different things. Do we get more unpredictable? Noni, I think, was exceptional as well. Noni he was man of the match, in my opinion. So we played a front 3 that we have never played before. It was good exposure for them in terms of the timing as well. It was exactly that we need because they played a lot of minutes overall. I'm very happy. On the depth of the squad, if we hadn't done with the injuries that we have, unfortunately, injuries are. On if Odegaard's injury is a shoulder injury. Here we go. Yes, very similar. So he actually has not been fully recovered. He is playing, injured. Let's just put it that way. I don't know if it's exactly the same place, but it's a very similar injury. He wasn't comfortable continuing. He's played 2 games with Norway. Unfortunately, he cannot carry on today. So we have to assess him with the doctors and see, but I'm sure he will try his best to be fit for Tuesday. He won't be. On if injury needs a surgery, no, I don't think that. I'm not an expert, but they weren't concerned at all at that level at all. The last time in a few days, he was able to manage the pain, especially the injury wasn't that bad. See, again, he was... In a few days, he was able to manage the pain. Hence, he was playing injured, and he is injured once again. You dumbass prick. I don't know the extent of 2, but hopefully. On giving Declan time to rest, Mikel Merino comes back after scoring 4 goals in 2 games. It's really high emotional state, and I want to use that on the players in that moment. And to be honest, that is actually very, very good thing Mikel Arteta did. He played quite a few players who were in form coming back from international duty, by the way. And that is something managers tend to ignore at times because they have their favorites. Arteta actually today played a few players who were actually in a good form thanks to international duty, who were like on fire, let's just put it that way. And that is actually credit to Mikel Arteta for today. On Ethan's performance, he was very good. He has different qualities, and you can sense, especially in the first half when he got the ball in certain areas, how comfortable he is to carry the ball straight away. Well, not like Odegaard, he just passes backwards and then flicks his hair. The moment he's very close to the box, he's got the thing in his mind, which is the goal and nothing else. That's great that we have different qualities within the same position again. And again, against Leeds, it was the same thing. After 20 minutes, we had to get Martin out. He came and very did well. Saliba's fitness. He trained just then. He did whole session. He was okay. So Saliba is going to be back soon. Or if Mosquera will push Saliba and Gabriel, you've just seen today and what he did at Anfield, very, very hard. He's going to push them. Yeah, Mosquera actually has been quite amazing in the first few games. He has played 2 full games pretty much and one against Leeds few minutes. He actually has been so far very, very, very good. The thing is, cannot get too hyped over this. We need a bigger sample size regarding that. On balancing his defense with the players he has, we need 2 players per position. This is football. Yeah. On the new players having big moments, that's very positive, because as well, some of the players that we decide to take off, when you see the reception, the connection they build, are supporters already. On if the depth is in response to the changes in the Champions League format, yes, and the demands on the amount of games that players have to play. They have to play 70 to 74 games throughout this season, and that is true. That is actually true. When the intensity goes that high, they are not going to be able to sustain that, so you need more players that standards have raised. On if he had different approach from Liverpool, no, they are the same. Hopefully you were in preparation for the game in my meetings. Oh, bloody hell. Tries to be witty, but sounds like a dumbass. On what Madueke has brought to the squad? Courage, a lot of quality, but a lot of courage. When we went to sign him and there were reaction around him, I spoke to him and I was like, I go for it. I cannot wait to put that shirt on and play for you guys. I said, wow, let's bring him in. If I was convinced before, I'm more convinced now that he's going to do it. I think he has such a power. He has such a power, such a capacity to repeat efforts, because to be able to do that physically, you have to have a different specimen. Oh, bloody hell. I think he's certainly that. Okay, cool. And if we move up a level this season, that's what we hope. Time only will tell. On the impact of the new standings, I have no question in terms of what we want in dressing room and feeling, and yada, 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 yada. Whatever, dude. He's yapping too much. I cannot bear with that, to be honest. Crazy predictions. Zinchenko and Douglas will be scraps for minutes for the Forest with Ange. Anticipate another boohoo interview from my blonde comrade. Ed left twice before him joining Lyon, and later he was able to 30 and failed. But imagine Bruno G. Rice midfield combo, aggressive Schickhauser. Yeah. Whoa, Robo. You still go through it? Yeah, I do on consistent basis. I do, basically. Obviously, I need to say a prayer before everything, but I just do it. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, people. Anyways, let's move on. Come on, Robo, please don't. Let's do ratings soon. It is what it is. We have to do it because, let's be real, we just have to, people. Come on, man. We have to do it, and we are doing it. But yeah, for fuck's sake, this dumbass website. Where's the lineups? Here it is. Here we are. Okay, give me a second. Let's go through the chat because you're going nuts, and then we're going to do the player ratings. What on earth happened to Eros? Feel like you've seen him. He's just listening to Benteke music. He's happy. Why would we play Rice if Bruno G is playing? Arteta got the Krispy Kreme premium glaze for Zubimendi. Yep. I can't with anything Arteta says. Trust me, no one can, unless you're a top gunner. There was a contender for goal this season at least that's what commentators said. We'll see. Yeah, all good. That's normal. We just go back and forth. I don't mind. I was drawing the beaches. Yeah. Market opportunities and all that, you know. Odegaard got even worse with the new hair. Yeah, he has lost his main superpower on the pitch, hair flicks. So makes sense. Zubimendi, yeah. Big up Rasta stocks, people. Go subscribe. If he hasn't hit already, because this morning or yesterday in the morning, I think it was this morning, he was 3 subs away from 1,000. So go show him some love, people. Subscribe and help a brother hit 1,000 subscribers. Big up Abs. Big up Waffle Don. Hope you're doing well today too, my bro. Go subscribe to Waffle Don as well. Arsenal fan, does FPL streams, Arsenal watch-alongs, panel shows, anything related to Arsenal and football in general. Top guy, top content. So go show him some love, people. Not gonna lie, I'm warming up to Madueke. We'll see about that. Yes, he has been great, but time only will tell. I need more. I need more. What do you expect, Robo? We have Spanish pretty boys, the Italian sweet prince, and marshmallow glass for players. I need the days of Tony Adams, Ferdinand, John Terry. Yeah, we need some of those badasses, definitely. Do we win the league now with Odegaard's new hairstyle? He cut his hair and his shoulder got even weaker. Yeah, good win today. Good win. Let's be honest, Madueke had a field day. He showed a good game, but the competition was a bit poor. We'll see how he deals with for example, how he does against City, and most importantly, how he will fare against Newcastle at St. James. I think that would be the best example of how Madueke could fare this season. Because yes, it's great when you do this against Leeds, when you do this against Forest and teams like that. I want to see this happen also against Newcastle away, for example, Man City at home, Liverpool away, and all this stuff. Maybe play the press. I don't want to get copyright strike because you get copyrights for those, I think. Madueke cook defenders, yeah, 100%. Bless up, big up, bro, big up. Here is AJ, best mod in the community. Big up. Rasta Stock Sling, people, if you haven't already, go subscribe for him. He has hit 1,000. Big up to you. Round of applause for Rasta hitting big 1K. And time to go to road to 2K begins right here. And here is also Waffle Don's Abs' link, people. Go show him some love, subscribe, and all that good stuff. You love to see it. Big up. Dappin's going around and everything, people. Anyways, last thing we are doing today. Last thing for today's show. Player ratings. Last thing we are doing for today's show. What we are saying. Who's going to be left back for Man City? Ignore is out. Newcastle would be Lermento. You're way bigger. I think it could be Gvardiol, unless Gvardiol is injured. If Gvardiol is not injured, he will be the left back. And that will be also a proper test. I generally believe if he starts left back, he will be a proper test as well. Gvardiol could be a proper test. Yeah, people. Anyways. Player ratings. Starting off with David Raya. And David Raya, to be honest, didn't have to do much. Collected a few crosses. Made a brilliant save, personally. Not gonna lie. Distribution could have been a bit better, but overall he was decent. So I'm gonna give David Raya a 7. For me, David Raya gets a 7. Personally, from me, David Raya gets a 7. Decent performance, great save, and everything was more or less on point. I'm giving 7. It's very hard to give him 5 or 6, for example, as I see Sean, for example, is giving him 5 or 6. It's hard to give him a 6 or 5 because the base rating of what the rating system starts at is a 6. And he didn't do a foot wrong to deserve below a 6 rating. And that's why I'm giving him a 7. The save and everything just pushes it up to 7. Yeah, Nems also says 7. Jurrien Timber. Shiver me timbers and everything. Timber was decent. Going forwards, back, he made some mistakes. He also made a tackle that got Odegaard injured, partially. So we have to live with that. Let's just put it that way. He made the tackle that got Odegaard injured. Kind of blessing in disguise, but that's a bit different story. He made two brilliant tackles in the box to block a shot and to get to the ball before the opponent could have taken a shot. At the same time, he misplaced a few passes, and in his own box, he decided to tackle Mosquera, from which situation they could have scored from, arguably. So I think Timber had a very mixed game, so I'm gonna give Timber also a standard 8. 7. I'm gonna give Timber also a standard 7, personally. Just gonna put it out there. I'm giving him. I don't do 0.5s often. I'm gonna give him standard 7. I'm gonna give him standard 7. Mosquera, Christian Mosquera, great game. Pretty much didn't put a foot wrong. Let's just put it that way. Solid defensively. Going forward, can't see much. He's a center back. It is what it is. Passing was decent. Passing was on point. For me, Mosquera gets an 8. Mosquera gets an 8. I would give him a 7.5. Or people giving those 5s, I don't care because I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna lie. I don't do 0.5, 0.2s, 0.3, and 0.0, 0.9 times square and all this stuff, period. I'm gonna give Mosquera an 8. Mostly he would get, and if I did 0.5s, I would give him a 7.5. However, for a player to come in, replace Saliba, and make me, for example, or us as Arsenal fans, to basically forget that we have Saliba injured, gets an extra credit in my book, an extra badge if you go by merit badges. So I'm gonna give him an 8. Let's just put it that way. Rating starting at 6 makes no sense to me. It is what it is. Hence why 5's average for me. I get it. I'm going off bog standard 6 as they do most of the time. Mosquera played well today. His recovery tackles were good. Yeah, exactly. I agree with this. But I'm going with what everyone goes for. So it starts with a 6 and it goes from there. So I'm going from that. And Mosquera gets an 8 for me. Gabriel, my captain, the proper captain, a guy who should be a captain at Arsenal, in my opinion. I'm giving him as well. 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. Gabriel, 7 or 8? 7 or 8. 7 or 8 for Gabriel. I'm gonna give him an 8. He already has a decent partnership with Mosquera, and they work very good in cohesion. Let's just put it that way. Okay, the Italian zucchini. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, Calafiori, and all this crap. Calafiori gets a 6. For me, he gets a 6. He got a yellow card. He got cooked defensively. He had some good moments going forward, but ultimately he got cooked defensively very consistently. Passed in behind his back, was very exposed. Half the time he was at the 6, and he was doing on the right wing as well. And I'm giving Calafiori a 6. Doesn't deserve much better. Box 6, bang average. 5, 6, whatever you want to give him, I'm giving him a 6. I would give Calafiori a 6. Like, it's actually kind of nuts. Yeah, 6. Martin Calafiori gets a 4. Main job is to defend. Yeah, if you can't do your main job, you don't get anything more. And if we go by those terms, yeah, I would give him a 5. If we go by those terms, I would give him a 5. 100%. Obviously, it's also not on Calafiori because Arteta makes him play left center mid, right wing, left wing, number 10, center back, and all across the pitch. But defensively, he's a liability. No matter how much you want to be in denial. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I'm gonna give Calafiori a 5. But again, it's not on Cala. Let's look midway when he came on. Yeah, as well. Martin Zubimendi. Brilliant goal. Brilliant header. Was very good today. Nearly inch perfect, arguably, you could even argue to some extent. And Zubimendi gets a 9. I'm going to give him a 9. Zubimendi gets a 9. Hold up. 9. Yeah. This is very ironic because I'm going to give Zubimendi a 9, but that means I have to give Madueke a 9. Because Madueke was man of the match for me, personally. And I cannot give Madueke a 9 whatsoever. So I think I'm going to give Zubimendi an 8. Zubimendi 8. 8.5. Zubimendi cannot get a 10 for me. 10 you get when you score a hat-trick and you have the perfect game. And no, for me, no. Mikel squared, lamppost, triple-decker bus, oil tanker on the pitch. Should have scored the first goal when he shot it straight at Cells. I'm not gonna lie. That is one thing. Merino gets a 6. For me, Merino gets a 6 for me. I cannot give him too much. Like, he was decent. We had Real Sociedad midfield. We didn't concede. Arsenal were controlling most of the game. But Merino, like, he should have scored. If he scored, he would have gotten 7, 100%. He plays the safe pass. He mistimed some passing. He mistimed some runs. He's very slow. When he was playing striker, he was jogging up front slower than Mertesacker to some extent. So I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6. Let's just put it that way. Martin Ødegaard, the captain, the injury man. Yeah, 6 is, yeah. Nims is giving 8.5. Damn, that's hella high. Merino in midfield will never be more than a 5 for me. I'll play him as second striker and we can have a deal. Yeah, if he does well at striker, definitely. I 100% agree with that. He somehow is more dangerous at striker than he is in midfield for us, 100%. Apart from 2 goals, I thought Zubimendi was average 7. Exactly, he was a 7, but you have to include the 2 goals, so I'm giving him an 8. I would have minded having the Valencia team of 2008, though. Yeah, that team, that's a completely different story in it. I wouldn't mind having Arsenal's 2003-2004 team as well, but hey, like, we cannot have that. Odegaard, Bummel guard, Gibraltar guard, Ghost guard, shoulder guard, hair flick. I'm giving him a 4. Odegaard for me gets a 4. I just was going through what he did on the pitch in the 20 minutes he played almost. I'm giving Odegaard a 4. Odegaard gets a 4. And again, he was doing the same stuff he was doing before, slowing down the play, holding on for possession too long, not unleashing the pass when it's needed, recycling it. He ducked out of certain tackles again, and he was again pushed off the ball much, much too easily. So Odegaard gets a 4. Well, Anton also agrees. Interesting. Odegaard should be put in the corner 4. Okay, moving on. Iberechi Eze. Eze. Obviously, getting played out of position. That's the first thing. He got an assist, so that's good. He had some good moments. Obviously, he feels like he is handcuffed and stifled. Given with the fact that he plays left wing, but overall he was actually very decent. Given that it's his first game at the club, let's be real. And as a starter, he actually did very good. He was very good. So I would give Eberechieze 6 or 7. That for me is the big thing. You could see that in the second half, he was better than in the first half, without shadow of a doubt. Obviously, he also got the assist. He looked like he actually got into game more in the second half. At some point, I saw him as a left back. That was nuts. I would say I'm going to give him a 7. I'm giving a 7. As a 7. Eze gets a 7. He got an assist. 7 is fair. Yeah, people tend to agree. So 7 for Eze. Moving on to the right wing. Noni Madueke. Noni, are you okay? Noni, are you okay? Noni, are you okay? Are you okay, Noni? Noni, for me, was man of the match. Despite the fact that he didn't score, he didn't assist as well, which is quite weird to say. But due to sheer performance-wise, for me, Noni Madueke was man of the match for me. And I'm going to give Madueke, just like I did with Zubimendi, an 8. But for me, he is the man of the match. Personally, for me. I know people will disagree with me because they will say that Zubimendi scored 2 goals and everything, clean sheet, and he should be the man of the match. But for me, Madueke is man of the match. At least for me. That's just my personal opinion in those terms. Big up Cooper. Nem says Madueke gets 7.8. Interesting. But yeah, I'm giving Madueke an 8. He was my man of the match for the game. In this specific match, Noni was good. 8. Yeah, exactly. Just like, again, who did he play there? I don't forgot. Madueke, definitely. People tend to agree, which is actually kind of nice. Okay, Victor Gyökeres. He hit the post. He scored a goal. He made some very good runs, I'm not gonna lie. He actually he made some good runs. We just didn't pass him the ball enough. That is the annoying part in those terms. That is one of the things that pisses me off if you look at it that way. But it is what it is. Have to live with that. But I think Gyökeres didn't have much service because, again, Mikel Arteta's tactics and the style and system and all that crap. But he scored. Again, as I said, he made good runs, but our players just didn't find him, didn't make the decisive pass in the end. So I would give Gyökeres a 7. I would give Gyökeres a 7 in the end. Let's just put it that way. 7 for Gyökeres. Not much service, but when service came, he delivers. Yeah, 7. Yeah. Had some rebound, one-touch passes. He was more productive in creating. Yeah, 7. I see. The subs. Oh, the subs. Don't want to get too much into the subs, but let's just do this. Trossard gets a 7. Martinelli gets 5. Vanjeri gets 7. Declan Rice gets a 7. And Skelly gets a 6. Like, quickly through subs, because subs, like, for me, they were not too long besides Vanjeri to make a proper impact as well to some extent. For getting almost 0 service, 3 goals and 4 appearances, it's good. Yeah, it is a good sign. Obviously, 1 was penalty, so it's kind of a bit different story in those terms. But 2, yeah. For those terms, yeah, 100%. Could have had even more if you scored. Trossard, Clive, Martinelli did decent. Disagree on the 5 for Martinelli, close to a 6. For me, the issue with Martinelli that really drags down the rating is that one situation where we passed the ball over the top. Martinelli had a chance to go in one-on-one, and instead of taking a touch, he allowed the ball bounce on the ground, which allowed the defender to run in front of him and recover the ball and basically push him out of the box. And I kind of cannot get that out of my mind. Trossard said Martinelli, I don't know what to say. When Yeri had more game time, so he looked okay. 7. Yeah. Still got to score the penalty. True. 100% true. Rice was 5, Martinelli 6, Trossard 7, Skelly 5. Yeah. I get it. But yeah, still 1-0 in that Chelsea game, which is not great because I would love to have some points in my FPL from Neto and Pedro, but it is what it is. I need to talk about Mosquera signed for 11 million. That's a huge tackle today. He's 21. Yeah, big up to Berta for signing him 100%. Martinelli's views his hairline declining. Yeah, people, like and subscribe if you haven't already. But for today, I think I'm gonna end the stream, people. Being live, we have chatted about the game. It was fun. It was very interesting as well. Always big up to you all. Big up for your thoughts, your discussion topics, and everything. You have been amazing, people. So yeah, big up to you all. Hopefully the Saturday and Sunday as well tomorrow treats you well. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Hopefully gonna see you tomorrow on the stream. But for today, I'm signing off. I'm gonna go relax, and hopefully I'm gonna see you soon. Peace.